There we go. Now we're live. Light my sage.
Same.
Guys told me to do this every time I go live.
That's good. It's
Pretty
not just for you, it's for everybody.
Exactly.
Hi, hello.
Things were pretty weird last night. I woke up from a nap feeling like I didn't know what planet I was on.
Oh, goodness.
I had like a 2-hour nap. And then when I woke up, I realized that I felt completely different. Like my head felt different. I had pressure on my head. I was like, what is going on? And then I asked the guides about it, and they're like, oh, yeah, you had a timeline jump again last night. I was like, I did? And they're like, well, everybody did. There's a positive timeline we're trying to move into right now. And I was like, that would be very nice. I could use more positivity.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
How's
Hello,
it going?
friends. Hello.
Welcome.
It definitely feels like that. Like there's been so many upgrades and pushes forward, and it's so awkward and it's wobbly, and it's like, does everybody just stay in, whatever you do? Just go pick up your kids and bring them home. Don't do anything extra. Just, it's like, keep your head low.
Well,
it feels like.
It's kind of weird to not have my kid at home. He's back at school now.
Yeah.
Been my little shadow for 3 months, and then all of a sudden my shadow disappears.
Like, what do I do with myself? Oh, I can take care of myself.
Time is moving quickly. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you all. Welcome.
I'm in the in-between place where my son is in school. He just started kindergarten.
Aww.
And my little one is still in preschool at a different school. And all summer long, she's like, I'm going to kindergarten. I'm going to kindergarten. And like, but now we're in this place where he's in school and she's not. And they're both jealous of each other. One
always wants what the other one has, and vice versa.
It's totally normal, totally natural. And I tell them that too. Like, of course you do. Yeah, you want to stay home and watch TV with your sister. I get it. But yesterday, over the weekend, he's like, he wakes up Saturday morning. Is it a school day? No. I want it to be a school day. I'm like, listen, you don't want it to be a school day. You don't realize right now you actually need this break. Yeah.
Oh, bless. Aiden came home. I said, how was your first day? He goes, Mommy, I got math first class. And I was like, I love his math. Yes, he certainly does. So it's very cute.
That's great. Yes. What else is new? What's happening?
Well, what else is new? You asked what's new. I got the deck I was telling you about.
Oh, yeah. Break it open.
So Aaron and I have many things in common, but one of those things we have in common is we were both oracles of Delphi. And so I got a statue of us.
Wow.
Doesn't it look beautiful?
Yes. I love it.
On a little pedestal, Pythia. So I saw it yesterday and I was like, oh, that's supposed to be mine. What's that doing there? That's fine.
Get over here.
So before I forget, I got a new deck and a book to go with it. Because I can't just do one thing. So I got the new Oracle of Delphi. I shouldn't say new, it's new to me. I'm sure there's a few other people that have this deck. Many thanks to Carolyn Mather, who showed me she had the deck. And I was like, hey.
Awesome.
And then there was a book that came as well.
There she is.
I know, right? So I was like,
oh, I love that. So you're bringing that
art, as you can see from here. Yes, the same painting is there.
I feel like we just need to
Don Collier's one of my favorite artists, and something about
it. Painting tattooed or something like it.
But I got this book because there's so much information on Delphi, like the actual location that's there and how much they found with archaeology but there's a lot to our history that was lost, that we've had to learn through Akashic Records readings and all sorts of things.
Yeah, through remembering being there being contracted to be there 7 lives in a row. That was painful to remember,
And a lot of people think that it was like an honor to do that job, but we were actually slaves. We were starved and abused if we didn't perform. And we were pretty much drugged up all the time as well. They gave us all kinds of drugs and things.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like we've talked about it on here before, but we were only fed, maybe 1 or 2 meals a week. We were left in a stupor.
Yep.
And you might have this memory coming to you because it was the place of the oracles for hundreds of years. So, there were plenty of us.
I went to visit Delphi. I was by myself at like 7:00 in the morning. As I walked up to the location of the Temple of Apollo where we used to be stuck, I had the most insane emotional release of my entire life. Like you can't really put it into words when you step into a place that you've been before and your body physically remembers it. You may not remember it, but your body, I got chills all over. Your body will remember it completely. And my body freaked out when I got to that spot. I had chills all over. I felt sick to my stomach. I felt like I was going to throw up. But then I had this emotional release. Like I just couldn't stop the tears. I got so emotional. And that's when I realized that my hypnosis session was actually true, that I actually was an oracle. And it was a very painful realization too, because that means the rest of the stuff that I learned, that I was poisoned, for example, that was poisoned by my own people, basically, because they didn't like what the fact that I was being disobedient, that I was being difficult.
Imagine that.
I was a good slave, apparently. So they poisoned me to death in that life. And that was very traumatic for me, especially because it was broken trust. The people that poisoned me were people that I trusted completely.
Well, and when you're in service to a temple, you are given over to that temple. You are not autonomous anymore. You do not have any personal authority, and it's interesting that so many of us, before we have these memories, we really kind of idolize, the temple. I must know you from the temple, sister. Like it's a whole process that I feel like women in their remembering and their awakening go through when they're like, at some point I was a temple priestess. This is an important aspect, whether or not I consider myself a priestess now, or whether I'm connected to that medicine or not. But once you remember or see in regression or through the records what that was like, you realize how not pretty that was and how your power was not yours. It belonged to the temple, and it was rough. It was really
a card for us, and look what's on it.
Oh my goodness.
Empath.
Empath. Wow.
It says feel, relate, understand, console. I love that it's got the rose. Erin and I are going on an adventure this very soon together.
5 days and counting. Yeah, so excited. I can't. Oof.
There's just something about where we go together. I feel that France has got a lot of history for both of us. And when you feel called back to a location you've been in a past life, it often is in relation to the fact that you've got another layer of healing that you're ready to do.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. The memories, the healing of the Cathar lives has come in waves, in the waves of visiting France and, getting deeper into what is, needed for me to remember in myself and what it means to be on this path now, and how many times have I considered myself to be on this very same path in one way or another, in service to, Sophia or the Christed light, or, the lineage of the rose. And when I learned about my galactic astrology, right? Like beyond.
No. Do you mind explaining a little bit about galactic astrology while I finish my coffee that I didn't finish?
Oh, nice. You're not really drinking coffee, are you? No.
It's mushroom coffee. I'm
Okay.
drinking rice.
Like,
Rice coffee.
where's Laura and what have
It's
you done
room
with her?
coffee.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Yes, it does. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
So, so galactic astrology is a combination of the information of your birth, right? And looking beyond the planets, really actually focusing on the stars, focusing on fixed stars, as well as moving bodies, right? So, like asteroids and comets and things like that. And so it actually looks beyond your terrestrial heritage and information and alignment, and it's fascinating. And so the I think Kitesh is a galactic astrologer. I have a really close friend who's a Catholic witch who's a galactic astrologer. She's one of the most fascinating friends in my life.
Interesting.
Yes, oh, we just talk for hours on end. So she did a reading for me, and so part of it is also channeling. So they connect to your higher self while they're downloading the information, and there's computer information, and then they take that information and they open up and do like automatic writing and channeling, to kind of flush it out. So the lineage of the rose is actually from Hyades, which is a star within the Taurus constellation.
Mm.
And so, like, there a lot of the lineages on Earth that are helping to awaken people, including like the Emerald Order of Melchizedek and different Melchizedek orders, etc. These are not terrestrially oriented. They did not start here. And so part of our remembering is also looking beyond, right? So even though I consider myself an earthseed because I participated in the creation of this planet, my soul is even older than that. And looking at the whole map, she's like, yeah, it makes sense that a dragon would show up, as your higher self, because look at this, and she's like pointing to where I was during the Orion Wars. And, and she goes deep into the wars and where your soul went after the war. It's fascinating. So I want to recommend that you actually have my girlfriend on your podcast, because I think that she would really help a lot of people to understand, because they're looking at, it's not just the channeling, there's actual science around it, that things can be tracked and traced and followed, and it's really, really fascinating.
Oh, thank you for sharing. I'll have to check it out. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
We only think about our Akashic records with those sort of things. We don't realize there's layers to that.
So many layers. I mean, and to just even think that, just coming back to, we pick the very precise time that we're born. To think that my daughter, who was born 9 weeks early, she really did that on purpose, because I cannot imagine her as a Libra. She's a full Leo, and all of these things. So, so the woman's name is Zoe Claire, and I need her website. I'm going to message her right now to give me her
So
website.
nice of you to promote, Zoe.
She's really, really fascinating, and she's also a mom and a musician and a poet and an entrepreneur and a Catholic witch. So she was raised, like in the church, but surrounded by folk medicine, and just really, really beautiful. Yeah. Let me just message her.
I would love to have that done. Yeah, we'll have to check her out. Put her on the podcast.
And her husband just started a heavy metal band. He's a music producer. I don't like heavy metal, but because they're my friends, I'm like supporting them so much, and it's so good.
I feel like music, there's a fit for every emotion. If you're having a really rough day, heavy metal helps. Which is kind of funny, because for some reason I tried everything to get Aiden to sleep as a baby, and heavy metal was the only thing that worked.
Does he have ADD or ADHD? Is that
No, I
because
don't
I've
know.
heard
Maybe
that is the case for some people who are
his
neurodivergent.
favorite was five-finger death punch. Within 5 minutes, he'd be asleep every time. I
You
don't
know,
know.
the brain
I don't know.
is fascinating. The brain
I
is
tried everything:
fascinating.
classical, jazz. I mean, everything. We were
Well,
listening
and
to like Alanis
probably
Morissette. Nothing would work, but five-finger death punch.
there has to be something about like how all consuming it is. Like it just takes your brain and it's like, I'm gonna take your brain and I'm gonna put it over here and I'm gonna take it out, you know, and
Yeah.
like you have no control. Okay.
I was a big fan of Lamb of God for a while. And a few others.
I don't even know these
Yeah.
names. Like I only know the most famous. And when Ozzy died, I was like, bye bye, Ozzy. And everybody's like, oh no. It's like, good bye bye, Ozzy. It's
I
time
love
for your
Ozzy.
renewal.
I don't even give a shit. I'll admit it. I love Ozzy.
Well,
Something about,
I
something
loved it when
about
they
that. You
did their
gotta,
show.
back in the day, they would used to bring like the darkness to the light. They would bring it out,
Totally. Totally.
And I kind of like it when they do that, because then you're not leaving it to fester in the dark. You're bringing it to the light.
Well, and it really does definitely help people purge a lot of emotions, and really feel their shit that we avoid so much, feeling our anger, feeling our rage, like give yourself an outlet. Yes, that's what music is for.
Exactly.
That's what
Yeah.
music is for. Yeah. So if you guys are into it, here, their name, they've only released their first song. But it's really good. Inner Army, they're called.
Daniel Jackson said, "I've seen all these dudes at Ozfest." Same here, Daniel Jackson.
I love that.
Proud brother.
Well, I love the story of the creation of Ozfest as well, because Lollapalooza wouldn't let him play. And so Sharon was like, fine, we'll just start our own festival. Fuck you.
And it got bigger than Lollapalooza. I haven't even been to Lollapalooza, but I've been to Ozfest.
I love that. I love that. I love that. That's, like give it to the man. That's what, counterculture is here for.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
Although I did clear somebody last week that went to a Marilyn Manson concert. It didn't go well for them. They came back home with all kinds of souvenirs. We'll put it that way.
Oh yeah, I bet. I mean, definitely there's music that purges energies and there's music that gives you energies.
Yeah.
And so you just have to.
It's hard to kind of suss it out too. Like, I really like High Lung.
Yeah, and it was too intense for me.
Yeah,
but
see?
we were, but it was like also my husband forgot the earplugs, so. But I
also
also
concert and you're like, this is a ritual. Like,
oh yeah,
just a concert.
No, we knew it was a ritual. We knew what we were getting into as well, and I was there with other priests and priestesses that I knew. We weren't there together, but we commiserated afterwards and like, what did you get from that? And one who's this like kind of local famous psychic, she was like, did you see the big black bird that flew over everybody? And then I started putting up protections over the whole group. And I was like, I believe it. At one point a fight broke out. Like, there was just like, ooh, it was intense. It was intense energy. And my husband was like, it just sounds like a call to battle. I'm like, well,
it is.
It kind of is. We're about there right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, because as I mentioned last night, I was doing some work and I woke up for those who weren't here in the very beginning of our conversation, I woke up from a nap feeling really weird and just off. And I said something to the guides as I sat down to do some work with Kat and Adriana last night. And the guides told us that we are basically like ramping things up right now energetically. And that there was a massive battle that happened in the astral last night. And they were like, there's a lot that's happening right now. And I was like, a battle like with who? They're like, the Lizzies. I was like, against who? He's like, us. I was like, oh.
How are you doing? You need something? Can I get you something?
They're just explaining that like the dark side is getting extremely desperate right now. And they are fighting back tooth and nail. And he says, just be aware that you're going to get a lot of bookings over the next few days. And I was like, okay. And as he said that, I got 4 bookings in 30 minutes. And I was like, holy shit, it's really happening.
Yeah.
Like, people can feel it.
Definitely.
The collective can sense when there's like chaos brewing, you
Mhm.
know? And we may not be able to know what that chaos is because we're not really tuned into the know, but you can feel it. It felt like pressure on my head. It felt like somebody was putting like a tall stack of heavy books on my head last night. And that's exactly what they confirmed.
Wow. Yeah. Well, and Corey said, is anybody struggling with overwhelming anxiety?
Yeah, well, the last few days have been really anxious.
And also, well, this was a few days ago, but the 22nd, I told you on the phone that the Schumann had blacked out. It was just
Yes.
like empty for pretty much the whole day. So, in leading, in the midst of the black moon as well. So that was a whole timeline shift in and of itself.
Yep.
22nd, 23rd.
Definitely.
Huge. Yeah. Yeah.
We're making leaps forward, but every time we make a leap, things get weird.
Yeah. And having physical things happen in the middle of these timeline jumps is totally normal.
And weird Mandela effect stuff.
Yep.
One of which I think is Frank Caprio to me, because I have been following Judge Caprio for years. I mean, I watch his stuff all the time. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, he just died of cancer. And I was like, when did he cancer? Like,
yeah, those reels are old.
Years. And I've never seen a single video or mention of him having cancer. And the next thing you know, he's died of cancer that he's been fighting for 2 years. And I'm like, I feel like that's a Mandela effect, because I watched
I had the same thought.
Everything with him.
I had the same thought, but I think that those were just old videos.
Maybe they just didn't post about it, but it was just very bizarre. And now I'm seeing a whole bunch of stuff about it, but for years, I mean, I've been following his stuff every day and didn't see a word of it.
I had the same exact thought.
That's really weird. So maybe we are kind of shifting timelines, but then we get into a new timeline and things are only slightly off with little tweaks here and there.
Sure. Well, and the other day, my daughter's like, I can't find my laptop. I was like, no. I was like, wait. Lara lost her laptop.
Don't get me started on laptops right now. I still haven't ordered another one yet.
But I was like, don't even. So I looked around. Of course, I found it right away. But children don't know how to look for things. But yeah.
But see, these guys are sensing stuff too.
Yeah.
The anxiety is a big one. A lot of you guys have been feeling anxious and stressed about stuff.
And you know what to do when you have anxiety. Time to ground, hug a tree, breathe, run your energy, clear yourself.
Take a sea salt bath or shower.
Like do the things that help regulate, listen to good music. My anxiety always felt like an overwhelm of energy. Like I had too much, like built up. And so I would sing or tone. Yeah. And that's what helps me to just, regulate myself in, so many ways.
It's a good thing in general. You want to give them an example of how you do that? Just so people can just
Yeah. So so there's different ways to tone, and you can be really gentle or you can be really full in it. A lot of people just go ooh, and that's not really going to get rid of energy. So
I'm more like, oh,
I know, right? I'm like, but you don't want to hurt yourself, like you want to be really, present with your body. So taking a couple deep breaths to kind of prepare yourself as well. And I want to say that humming is really helpful, because you have certain cells in your nose that when you hum and they vibrate, they release nitric oxide. And nitric oxide allows oxygen to travel into the cells better. And so when when you're toning or something, you're producing sound and vibration that helps your body be hydrated, helps your blood cells be hydrated, as well as be oxygenated. But when you hum through your nose, you're actually amplifying that times 15.
What about whistling? I'm a whistler.
Not so much.
I'm not much of a hummer. I'm a whistler. I'm always
Yeah, I understand. And that's okay. You're creating frequency, right? So you are definitely affecting the environment, but it's not going to affect you physically as much as if your vocal folds are engaged. You're actually creating a sound. So with whistling, you're moving air, but when you you create a frequency by ooh instead of right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So toning, you really want to have full belly breath and connection. Thank you, Charisse. So to inhale through your nose and then give yourself like we're gonna be kind of like like a big voiced tenor baritone, we're gonna do something to really actually create a lot of frequency in the body. So inhale.
Very nice.
Yeah, I love to bring in the harmonies too, just to like play around to kind of keep myself entertained sometimes. But when I'm working on someone, I'll find that the overtones are the harmonics are actually moving something, when I'm working on someone with it. Yeah. But just doing that for like 5 minutes can like totally ground you, put you in your body. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sing, 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 sing. um, who says drinking milk helps you? Drinking milk does not
I was
help.
gonna say.
Who said that? Yeah, yeah. I sing and tone often. Um, just for personal regulation, but also like for my kids, I want to make sure that when my kids are going to bed, it's not just for you know, for entertainment, like, oh, lullaby. No, it's like actually I'm helping them to be in a quiet, soothed place, so they can sleep. Milk is for anxiety. I don't know. I don't, I mean, I can understand mother's milk, maybe
Whatever
like
works
the
for you.
frequency of the mother. Yeah, Natalie, yeah, the first thing you could do, um, to help your lungs is to not have dairy.
Yeah. Yeah. I got
Yeah.
coconut milk in mine. It does help.
Yep. Yep.
Giving up milk.
Milk is for babies. What are you, baby?
Ray says, try this. Plug your ears with your index fingers. Put the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth and then hum. And if you find the right pressure in your ears and lips until you feel your whole body vibrating, then you will know when you get it. Cool, Ray.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And that can also, like, if you go in the bathtub and you put your ears under the water, then you will hear everything. And so when you plug your ears, what Ray is saying, like if you plug your ears, you'll get that same effect because you're hearing from the inside instead of from the outside. And that's where the vibration.
I
That's
can hear my knees creaking more when I have my earbuds in.
yeah, you can hear inside your body. That's what you're
That's
hearing.
very unsettling, actually. So no, I don't like having my ears plugged. It's too loud for me. Thank you. I don't need to hear my body creaking as I walk. It reminds me that I'm 40 years old now.
I love how you're like
Whenever I look that way, I'm giving Charlie the side eye.
oh, I got it. I know. I figured it was like a
Charlie's
serious
my right hand man. I always have Fergus on my lip.
I love it. So is Fergus more of the like like
Fergus is my bouncer.
yeah, okay, yeah. I was gonna say, like the more intense one that's like, don't fuck with me.
Yeah, I mean he's a Highlander. Nobody fucks with the Highlanders, right?
Right? Right? Totally.
So yeah, he's
Yeah.
been very wonderful. In fact, I was floating down the river 2 days ago, And all of a sudden I get the double heart palpitation and I felt like the chills and I was like, I start yelling. I'm like, get please get him. And then I get back to the line and I check within my mediums and I was like, is there an earthbound on me? They're like, no, Fergus got it. And I was like, thank you. Like,
Nice. Yes. Thank
yes.
you.
So you have to ask. If you don't ask, they'll just let you get picked on. They don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
yeah, you got to ask.
Goodness
And it's really
gracious.
helpful if you know when you ask your gatekeeper to remove stuff.
Yeah. That's
But then again,
wonderful.
she's got a dragon. She can just send her dragon after whatever.
Whenever there's anything, I'm like, Ramara, you know, I'm like, yep, okay. Thank you.
But it's nice to know you have backup. It's like you have security.
Absolutely.
You just start yelling, security.
Yeah.
They grab it.
Absolutely.
These guys are still talking about milk. Don't worry about that.
I know. Well, I wanted to say hi to Amanda because I got my mug here.
Nice.
Baby Xander choked yesterday, and then you did later.
Things are really weird right now. I must
Yeah,
say.
things are really weird.
You
know, if it, you know, like kind of check in as to like what you were doing or what you were thinking about in that moment. If there's something, you know, some kind of truth that you were working with that feels dangerous to the world at large, that's usually what's happening. Or like when somebody feels choked, it's like they're talking about something that somebody doesn't want them talking about, you know. Or you have
got trauma from speaking up in a past life. If you've tried to speak up for yourself in a past life and you were severely like beaten down because of it, then it makes you more scared to speak up for yourself in the future, even though you don't consciously remember it.
What is the binding spell in Harry Potter that's like the tongue tie?
Yeah.
Where they like literally can't talk about it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's a
how's that for a what do you call it? NDA.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, 4 lifetimes.
Helen said, how do you know what kind of gatekeeper you have? We connect with them through meditation or through mediumship or through, you know, just there's lots of different ways to connect with your guide.
Yeah, I like to take my students on a guided meditation into the Temple of the Heart, you know, where they can just kind of say, okay, I want past lives to come forward. Okay, all right, now I want, you know, I want my guides to come forward. I want my galactic guides to come forward. I want my terrestrial guides to come forward. I want my galactic self, my higher galactic self to come forward. Okay, now I just want to commune with my soul. All of these different things you can do in the Temple of the Heart, where it's totally, completely multidimensional. The lowest frequency is, you know, 560, and the, you know, you have access to all things, anyone through the heart. That's your main tool, is your heart center.
And sometimes, you know, your guides actually prefer for you to work on your relationship by like making the first steps yourself, by connecting through meditation, by calling them in, by asking them something like, what is your name? And seeing if anything pops up into your head. And it does. I mean, a lot of people want that answer given to them, but I can admit, you know, I didn't have Charlie's name at first. It was funny. I was wondering what my guide's name was, and nobody wanted to tell me at first. But for months, I kept having dreams of this Charlie in my head, and I didn't know why. And I just kept thinking, I was like, well, maybe I'm supposed to adopt a cat and name it Charlie. Like because I had a dream of like a ginger kitten named Charlie and all this stuff, Charlie this, and I didn't even know where it was coming from. And then I find out my main guide, my companion guide's name is Charlie. And I was like, oh. He was trying to tell me his name, and I didn't even pick up on it because, you know,
you're thinking about other
things. You just start getting downloads. But then Fergus was easier because I asked what his name was and immediately heard Fergus in my head, and I was like, well, that was not me. There's no way. I just made up the name Fergus.
Yeah, it's been a process for me. The first guide that I developed a relationship with was kind of, you know, handed to me when I went to a psychic circle. And then after that, I had been to I had learned some, you know, like shamanic shamanic journeying, and so I journeyed myself because I was like, okay, I want to meet more of my guides. I want to, know my spirit team. And a name came to me and I was like, what is this name? And then I looked it up and it is a Spanish like armory. It's like a giant
Really?
The name is Alhambra. And I'd never heard that name before. I'm like, what the fuck is Alhambra? And yes, and it's like a big, battalion kind of a place. That's not the right word, but this is what wheat does to me. So my like ready nose and my little cough is like, this is, we were talking about dairy before. This is what just a little bit.
I was sniffling the other day. The guides told me that you're just detoxing, and I was like, oh, yeah. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, it doesn't, when things are happening with your body, it doesn't necessarily mean you're sick.
Nathalie says, Erin, we need to talk about that.
I'm getting there. I'm kind of like stepping towards it. In Spain, it's in Alexandria. Thank you, Ray. Yeah. So I looked it up and it's a total place. I'm like, okay. And then
a lot of Alexandria is thanks to Alexander the Great. There were there's 50 cities named Alexandria. Thanks to
him. I was like, this is a different Alexandria.
No, there's a lot of Alexandrias out there.
Yeah. So there's a significant difference between I feel like the guides that are given to you, right? Like the information that's given to you and the information that you receive.
Yeah.
And Alhambra became the guide that helped me learn my mediumship. When I was, like in an ayahuasca church and so I would call on Red Fox, which was the Shoshone chief that was like, you have this guy with you and his name is Red Fox. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do with that? And and then I had Alhambra. So these are like my two guides that I'm like sitting in ceremony with. I'm like, what are we gonna do, guys? And when I would incorporate Red Fox, he's so big and muscular that my body would hurt afterwards. And I would be like, whoa, like just feel gigantic. And then he would leave and I'd be like, oh my God. And Alhambra, I don't have any kind of physical reference. He just feels like a never embodied, higher being.
So they're a pinky in right now energetically. Find out,
And then and so then as part of my process and my kind of self-training in my mediumship, I connected to a being that would help clear me and prepare me, called Clementine. And so she would just come in and then leave. She'd come and clear my chakras and make sure that I'm, good, and then leave. And then recently I was sitting with Rumara and she said, hey, guess what? She says, Clementine, that was me. What? So you prepare yourself. You go through your journeys and your initiations, preparing yourself for the next level of amazingness, right? On this path. Like each guide that you get is a step, they are a process on your learning journey. And
you can request new ones too. If you feel like something, that was one thing that really surprised me. Is it how many people have requested new guides, or that we've even requested new ones for them? We're like, are you guys okay? Like, do you need backup? And they're like, yeah, bring in a new guide, please.
Yeah. And I've been loving that as well with the protocol. And they're always, because they work with the Angels of the White Light, they're always like, I volunteer, and they're always like, yes, we will help you. Even if for a short while, to help you guys like repair from being, having imposters for years or whatever the case is, Yeah. So that was intriguing for Rumara to be like, I came in the form of this little, kind of sprite being so that I could gently start to work with you and you would become familiar with me and you wouldn't be overwhelmed, by my presence like you were when I did finally land.
So our
So
guys
then,
can be kind of like Pokemon as we evolve.
yeah, like, yeah, exactly. Oh,
There we
my
go.
God,
There
yesterday,
we go.
this is worth more points. Like, I don't even know how Pokemon works. I'm just making that up.
They just evolve, as they need it,
Oh,
as
do
you
they?
level up.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too that I've learned, through working with the dragons is that dragons also evolve, right? And they have, so Rumara used to be a red dragon and now she's a gold dragon. She still has some like tint of red, but it's almost like her graduation, of like becoming a healer, and I'm like, I wonder if her evolution coincided with my evolution. Most likely, like I healed something or I went through something, and because she's my higher self, like, she also evolved.
I love that.
But
Bright
that's like
colors,
my
kind
thoughts.
of. It's like karate belts for dragons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, I'm in a blue belt right now, I will eventually be a double black belt.
Rainbow belt.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
see, this is exciting too because as we evolve, you know what I mean? Our vibration goes up, higher aspects of ourselves can also come in. So
Mhm.
we have what we call soul braiding that occurs when this happens, and you get downloads from your higher self, and it's like your consciousness expands and evolves as you're learning things. Your DNA becomes more active,
Yeah,
your gifts come online. Like everybody's kind of upgrading right now.
totally. Whether you want to or not. I know, right? Like, I'm not ready for the
Kind of
next
feeling
lesson.
the
Oh my
spirit,
goodness.
getting like
Okay, Amanda, that's the next graphic to design is the dragon with the karate belt. I definitely need an image of a dragon like in the whole outfit. Like, "Wha?"
I love it.
Oh, I love it.
Well, this is
Oh,
the exciting thing about leveling up, though, is because you don't know how high of a level you could go. You can't see the upper
there's no
levels. You
limit.
don't know what you're working towards.
No, and there's no limit anyway,
Mhm.
So why don't, that's the thing. You can have visions for what you would like to have in your life, but you might not know what that means on a spiritual level, what is needed of you, what is required of you to go through in order to achieve that. You
Universe is like, surprise.
know? Yeah. Well, I definitely remember 2007 when I was in Linda Reed's yoga studio. Linda Reed is coming to France with us, and I was in airplane position. I was going to say airplane mode.
You were in airplane position.
I was in airplane mode. No, it's Warrior 3. They also call it airplane. And so the teacher was like, I want you to visualize what you want for yourself. What do you want in the future for yourself? And so I'm like, I mean, this is root memory. And I'm like, I want to be traveling the world. I want to be teaching workshops. I want to be helping people to sing.
You're already doing it. Look at that.
Ta-da!
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And so then, so then there's further evolution, even unexpected by me. And this is what Natalia was referring to, is that for the past probably 2 years, one, I don't even know, but this name in the background was coming to me. And and it's like totally random and not English, this name coming forward. And I'm like, who is this? And Heduana. Like, and Heduana, what the fuck? What? And it was always just kind of like in the background. It would come in I would hear the name while I was in session, like while I'm connected. And so then I had a beautiful session, and the name came forward as the name of the unicorn that came in during the session. And so then afterwards, I was like, so is this unicorn here for her? Is this unicorn here for me? Like, well, yeah, the unicorn's here for everybody. And so as I sat with her later, I came to discover that in Heduana, I did some research, and Hedwana is the first published author of our society of the last 6,000 years. She wrote epic poems to Inanna in cuneiform.
Wow.
She was the high priestess of she was a high priestess of Mesopotamia. Her father was a king in what is now Iraq. So, so I'm like, okay, we've got a unicorn in the field now saying her name is in Hedwana, and we're gonna go with it, and we're gonna see what happens.
It takes a lot of trust, you know.
Man.
It really
And
does.
not think that you're crazy for
Oh,
one.
I know. I believe it. I still pinch myself all the time. Like, but this is part of the problem is that we've been gaslighted for so long. We've been culturally conditioned to believe that everything is real is bullshit and vice versa.
Right.
We've been
And things that aren't real that actually are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, like we have a great amount of relearning to do. But this is why you see, like, there was a woman, I shared a video this morning of a woman that was out walking her dog the other night. And as she was looking down like this slightly lit alleyway, she saw something completely not human that was about 10 foot tall, too skinny to be human, too like, you know, it was a ghoul looking creature, right?
Yeah.
And you can tell by the way that she's speaking, like she's traumatized by what she saw. And it reminds me, going back to what the guide said a few months ago, like maybe like a year or two ago, they're like, do you think old ladies are ready to see succubi on their way to church? The problem is we have to see as we move up in frequency, the next frequency up is the lower astral. So we're going to be seeing the lower astral freaky shit before you see all the nice unicorns and dragons and other stuff that's at the much higher frequency dimensions.
Right.
So here we are talking about beings that can't be seen yet by the physical senses. And so we get gaslighted all the time. And you can have a very strong connection to a guide that you know for a fact exists, and yet still feel like you're completely crazy because you feel like I'm talking to a unicorn.
Or a dragon.
Or a dragon. Honestly, going to France is what changed the whole dragon thing for me, because I still hadn't been, I know I've said this before, but I was not completely convinced. I still had my doubts.
Neither was I.
And then the more I had experiences with them and the more I could feel them even attacking me as we're walking around Da Vinci's garden.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as I call it in to be cleared, it goes away and stops. The pain stops. And I'm like, holy shit, like this is real.
Yeah.
And you just, like I said, we honestly are not even mentally prepared for what's in the lower dimensions, let alone what's in the upper dimensions.
Right.
And it would be nice if it was flipped, that we'd start seeing the nice stuff before we start seeing the dark stuff, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. 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 And you don't get to choose how you see things or how they evolve. Can you highlight that that link that I just put there? That is my girlfriend Zoe Claire to get your galactic astrology read.
Nice.
Yeah. Really phenomenal.
Very cool. Star Water Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice of you to promote that for her.
Yes, she's amazing. Yeah, so you know, I would not have picked this. I mean, when the dragon first came in, I thought I was going crazy. I was constantly like I was in a mediumship that I could barely control, and that was scary. And then, you know, and trying to force myself out of it to ask my higher self, is this supposed to be happening? Like grabbing my dowsing rods. Is this for my highest good? Everything was yes. This is right. This is supposed to be happening. And so just being in the evolution of exactly 1 year later now, and now a unicorn comes in, and neither of these did I expect. Neither of these did I ask for. You know, and so we spoke in the Ramara circle on Thursday. We spoke with the unicorn, and it was incredibly beautiful, and also fascinating to hear some of the things that she said was also about, the reason, consider the reason that unicorns and dragons have been removed from our reality as being real is because how powerful they are. And that in Scotland, or as well as in Ireland, when you see on government buildings a unicorn, it's in chains.
Oh, that pisses me off every time I see
That
it.
that is to say we have power over you. That's what that means.
The lion's not in chains, just
No.
the unicorn is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So she spoke to that, and she spoke to the fact that, like the reason why they say only a virgin or only the purest of heart can approach a unicorn is because their energy, their medicine is so powerful that it will hurt you if you are not pure. You will be hurt, right? Purified by holy fire, literally. And the dragons, the reason why the dragons have been pushed out is also because they help with human ascension. They are part and parcel to our evolution. They help us to connect to the elements, to the earthly realm, as well as the astral realm. And they, the powers that think that they are in power, don't want us to have our little friends and our big friends and our unseen friends with us, because if we're empowered, they don't have power over us.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like we're going to be having the biggest shifts that we are not even ready for yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like people are still kind of working their way up to it. And I've had this level of impatience, I guess, over the last couple of years, especially because I've been awakened since like 2012. And I'm like, I was ready for this shit back in 2012. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we've been waiting so long. Like, come on, get with the program. And then all of a sudden it starts intensifying and we're like, okay, you can slow down now. Yeah. We're like, okay, this is a bit nuts.
We thought you were going to give us more last time and we'd be more like acclimated to it by now, but you're just snowballing us. And if you could just... Yeah, because when it was like 2012, we were like, okay.
Imagine if you've been here since the 70s singing about the dawning of the age of Aquarius, and we're still in this bullshit.
Like, yeah, I mean, I definitely have friends that are like, I've been awake since the harmonic convergence, 1987, man. Like, let's go. It's like, okay, dude.
I guess I'll stop by complaining about being awakened in 2012 and then being like, are you gonna do it now?
I know.
Are we ready yet? I think we are.
Yeah.
But it's funny because we're prepared for it, but the NPCs and the others are freaking out. Like the unawakened people don't know what the hell is happening. They're just like, why do I feel this way?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the seed oils. I don't know. They don't know what's happening.
Everything, all of the above.
Uh-huh.
And I love that
She's hella frustrated. No kidding.
I love that Cherise says, I've always been awake, I just didn't know it. And that really is a thing. For me, there was really never an awakening process. There was just unveilings that happened for me, and my girlfriend Sarah Lise was a huge piece of that, of just saying, oh, the moon is fake, oh, 20 and back, oh, MK Ultra, oh, all of the psyops, oh, all of the things. And I'm like, oh, fuck, but I was already, fully psychic and activated and looking at these things, not fully, that's not even a thing, but you know what I mean? And just being like, okay, all right, I'm gonna have an awareness of this stuff. But I remembered Lemuria, in my early 20s, and a lot of that stuff has been coming to me for quite some time.
So it can be transmuted and healed because you've been carrying it around with you for how many human lives? Holy shit, 12. I think of how many human lives you've had in 12,600 years.
No, but I've been here for at least 45,000.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Just since Lemuria crashed. That's what I mean. Like that. Isn't that crazy? If you think about how much trauma you can hold or how much healing you've got, and then we go in and we're like, oh, I have one triggered past life resonance. It's like, what about the other 40,000 lives that I've had here?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is interesting, though, that we are starting to kind of have a deeper understanding of these lives
Probably
because
so.
it wasn't up until around the last, I don't know, I would say the esoteric arts have kind of picked up a lot over the last like 100 years or so, the Theosophical Society and studying of all of that. So if you think about it, we've been operating blindly without even knowing who we were or why we're here or anything really to that degree for thousands of years. And to have this many experiences, to be aware of this. I mean, if you look at my list of past lives that I know about, I know of at least 30 of my past lives now.
Right.
Every time I learn about another one, it's another layer that I'm like, oh, that's why I have that thing I'm working on. Oh, that's why I'm that way that I am. Okay, because every bit of it adds more and more pieces to the puzzle. And the picture that unfolds is the true you. But you're constantly adding little pieces back to that puzzle to remember who that true you was. And I feel like up until the last 2 years, and I even said this to Zach last night, I said, I feel like I'm coming out of a daze. Like for the last 2 years is the first time I'm actually starting to remember who I actually am. And the last 38 years, I've just been kind of like floundering and going with the flow and not really having any understanding as to who I am and why I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as we kind of evolve into that and we start to remember who we are, we have all of these parts that come back to ourselves that add more to the story as to who we are. And it really helps to learn those things because otherwise we don't know why we are the way we are or why we do the things we do or why we have the relationships that we have.
Well, that's why, learning how to trust yourself, right? Connecting to your gifts so that you can hear the answers in your body, because, of course, like here's a couple of like professionals saying you should be able to answer your own questions, like, yes, please coming for Akashic Record readings. I would love to serve you and I would love to take your money. And also, at the same time, I want to empower humanity. Like in October, I'm teaching my psychic development and Akashic Records course so that people can be empowered, and it's, I am a self-taught individual. I didn't really have any psychic teachers. And I think that is also a valuable perspective of saying like, well, how did you figure it out? And how did you learn this? And where did that, information come from? And the more that we can learn to listen to our body, and then we can trust that, like we're, excuse me, we learn to trust our guides. How much do you trust your body to tell you the answer, right?
Yeah.
Like I really do stand in the supplement aisle at the grocery store and say, do I need this? And I hold it forward and I wait and see if my body moves forward. And if it doesn't, then I don't. And that is an aspect of just listening to the energy of your body. And that's what psychic awareness, psychic skills are just getting really good at listening to the energies in your body. It's so valuable. Whether you want to be a professional psychic or not, everybody has these gifts, has access to these gifts, can clear shit out of the way so that they have even better access to these gifts, and just keep fucking going. There's no end to it. Obviously, there's no end goal. It is just to be the most activated, awake, utilized human realized, like when people, put so much weight on the worship of Jesus. Jesus was a realized human. That's what he was, to show us what we're totally fucking capable of. And Mary at the same time, what we are totally fucking capable of. So get going.
Yes.
Love
that. Mic drop moment, Erin.
Need I say more? I don't think so. Go to divinesinging.com. Get yours.
Make sure you check it out, divinesinging.com. You can check out Erin. She's got all kinds of stuff on her website. She's got all kinds of goodies up there. Make sure you check it out. She's got future classes coming up. Yep. We have an amazing retreat together. Erin and I are going to France together. For those who may not know, we do these.
What planet are you on? If you didn't know.
And we get to travel with some of our soul sisters and have spiritual experiences together. And this is something I've said many times before, but when you travel with a group of people and that are aligned, that have all that high frequency, you like oscillate each other higher. So you activate each other. You bring your gifts to the table and you make them stronger as a group. This is why so many, covens and things existed too, because everything that you do as a group is intensified, multiplied.
Exactly.
So your gifts will come online, and your ability to discern things with your own guides and your intuition become stronger.
Right.
And you'll just start to notice that there's layers that are opening up. Right. And allowing like a rosebud in a way. I just saw a rosebud in my head. It's kind of like how it opens up and blossoms, right? That's exactly what we plan to do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And even in other traditions where there's mediumship, like in South American traditions, the mediums activate each other.
Yeah.
So when one medium is like with their caboclo, as they call it, that caboclo will come to the next medium, and just by touching them, they can open them up and allow in their guides or their caboclo to come in and dance and weave. And this is what we do. We activate each other. We're here activating each other. And
think about with Reiki, what happens during an attunement? You know
Exactly.
what I mean? You go, you learn, but then you also get attuned and your energy centers get opened wider.
Exactly. Yeah. So much more to come. Thank you for having me, Lara.
Are you kidding? I love hanging out with you, Erin. I can't wait to do it in person. It's going to be such an adventure.
It's always so much fun. So much fun.
We will be doing pop-up podcasts. We can't promise we're going to be able to do it every day, but if we're just kind of hanging out at the house and want to talk about what we've been doing. So make sure that you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel. You get much better notifications when we go live if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. It's the same name as the Facebook page. So that way you can catch us when we come online and pop in to say hello and tell you guys all about our fun trip. Did you see what Chantal says? Enjoy France, go skinny dipping. That is already on the plan.
we do have our own pool, so. All right.
Hot spring, though. We got to go check out the Rennes-le-Bon hot spring again. That was a magical experience.
That's right. Yes. Well, that's where we're starting. We're starting at Rennes-le-Bon.
Yay!
We're starting in the river.
Yay, love it.
Yes, so much beauty and joy.
Pauline says no notifications from Facebook today at all. I did notice that when we first started talking, there was only like 20 people on for the first half hour, and then it jumped to 90, and I was like, what is even happening? I think our counter was off today.
Dang.
But just in case Facebook gets weird, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, then you guys won't miss it. You'll get a better notification whenever we pop up and do a surprise live.
And subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, because I only have 128 followers.
Your page too. So they can follow you on Facebook
at Divine Singing.
Yep, got it.
At Divine Singing, and also YouTube at Divine Singing as well.
Make sure you guys check out Erin and give her a follow. I'm sure most people already know who you are.
And all these people here, y'all know me. And also, we'll probably try and do the Rumara Circle. I think it would be really fabulous if we could do the Rumara Circle from France and, bring in the energies from France and the
dragon energies of
dragons from France. Have dragon conversation, darling. Oh my goodness. So that is that's 2 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. So we'll try and do that, and we can share that with everybody. We'll have an open circle. That'd be fun.
Looking forward to it.
Yay. I'll see you soon.
I can't wait. We're gonna have Kat on the podcast tomorrow to also talk about France, because Kat is going to be joining us in France, and we're very excited about that. We're going to do some grid work.
Yes.
So we'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow as well. So that'll be exciting.
I had a session with Kat. It was phenomenal. Just saying, y'all, like really, really, really everybody book a session with Kat. She's amazing. I can't wait to learn from her. Can't wait.
She's a phenomenal healer, hey? And something about her energies is also really intense but soft at the same time.
she's so straightforward, and it's almost like she has dry humor. Like it's, she'll smile, she'll laugh, but she's just so very serious and just clear, with the work and exactly what she's doing. I love her demeanor. I love her style. She's great.
She is. We're gonna make an awesome time in France. I can only wait.
Go team. And we'll see you there, Vicky. We'll see you there.
Yeah, some of you guys are coming with us. I love it. It's gonna be awesome. Therese's cat fixed my hand. That's cool, Therese.
Nice. Yep.
Awesome.
I can't wait for her to teach it.
So there won't be a podcast on Friday. I'll be hanging out with Zipporah on Friday.
Yay. Give Zipporah all of our love, please.
I can't wait to see her. I'm so excited.
I have my stone that she gave me.
Yeah, do you really? Oh, I love that.
And the one with my name in Hebrew is on my dresser. Yeah.
She's a sweetie pie. We'll definitely call you while I'm hanging out.
All right.
Cool. I love you guys. 11:11. Perfect time to end the podcast.
Awesome.
Ciao. See you guys tomorrow with cats. Have a good day. Lots of love, everybody. Bye.